Dear chess friends, welcome at the Royal Chess channel. My name is Manik. I am Grandmaster from Slovakia. I want to show you a game between Firouzja and Nakamura. His candidates tournament 5th round. Bishop c4, knight f6. It was Italian. Black played knight f6. Possible is bishop c5. c3, knight f6, d4. Bishop is hanging. Possible is check. And for example, this ending is equal. Okay, knight f6, white played d3. Possible is knight g5, attacking pawn on f7, d5, he takes d5. Knight a5, black sacrifice pawn for attack. Knight d5, knight is hanging on g5. Knight f3, bishop d6. And now black have very strong move f5. Idea is sacrifice another pawn for attack. And black has strong attack. Okay, let's go back to the game. Knight f6, d3, bishop c5, c3, h6, b4, bishop e7, queen b3, pawn is hanging, castle a4, d6, knight d2. Now black played interesting move, knight b8, planning c6 and d5. What can white do? White play d4. He takes d4, c takes d4, a5. White played e5. Possible was b5. Knight d7. e5. And the position is equal. Threatening knight g6, but black had bishop e8, and black is okay. Okay, e5. Black played knight h5. Possible is knight fd7. White can play e6. And this position should be also equal. Okay, black played knight h5, b5, knight f4, attacking pawn on g2. White could play castle, and after d5, bishop is hanging, bishop d3. Position is equal. White play g3, d5. Bishop is hanging. Bishop f1, knight e6. Bishop g2, c6. Castle, knight d7. Bishop b2, knight b6. And this position is very unclear. Bishop c3, c5. Rook fb1, knight is hanging, and question is, what can black do? Black played rook a6. After c takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop c5, knight c6, queen is hanging. Queen e8, bishop takes e5, knight is hanging. In this position, attack the knight and the bishop is hanging. This position should be equal. Okay, let's go back to the game. Black played rook a6. D takes c5, bishop takes c5. Queen b5, queen c7. Rook c1, queen a7. Planning knight c4 and attacking pawn on f2. So white play queen e2, bishop d7. Pawn is hanging. Bishop a1, rook is hanging. What can black do? Black play knight c4. Knight b3, strong move. After knight takes c4, d takes c4, queen takes c4, bishop takes f2, king g2, rook b6. Black is much better because later play bishop c6, the knight cannot move and king is weak. Okay, knight b3, bishop b6, rook d1, pawn is hanging, queen a8, bishop g2, knight c5, knight takes c5, bishop takes c5. White play knight h4. Better was knight d4 because white will play knight b3 and pawn on d5 is hanging. After knight d4, knight b6. Should be a little better for white. After the bishop e6, this position also should be a little better. f4, f5 sometimes. Okay, the game happened knight h4, knight b6, bishop d4, take, h3, rook c7, g4, queen c8, queen d2. Pawn is hanging. What can black do? Black plays simple move, rook c5, protecting pawn on a5, queen f4. What can black do? Black play rook e8. g5 is only draw. Rook c6 is not very good because knight f5 and rook is hanging. This is winning for white, but black can play after queen f6, queen d8, and this is probably equal ending. Okay, let's go back to the game. Rook e8, knight f5, bishop takes, g takes f5, queen c7, pawn is hanging, rook e1, knight d7, e6, take, knight f6, rook d4, king f8, rook d2. Black is a little better, but it's very hard win this ending. Rook b2, rook ec8. He won't change the rook, then attack pawn on a4. So white play bishop f1, knight e4, bishop d3. Black play knight c3. Of course, king takes e6. Mistake f3. Knight is hanging, but even this position is draw. But at the game happened knight c3, f4, d4, rook g2. Pawn is hanging on g7. What can black do? Black plays strong move g5. f5. Possible was take, f take g5. And then this ending should be draw. Even this move, king f6, e6, e7, rook is hanging. This is losing, but knight e6 is also draw. Okay, the game happened f5, knight d5, rook e4, attacking d4 pawn. Now black play knight b4. Possible was knight f4. And white had compensation for material. King f4, e7, threatening rook f8, rook e8, rook f8, rook c3, attacking bishop on d3. And this also this ending should be draw. Okay, let's go back to the game. White play rook e4. Knight b4, f6 check. Mistake. Easy draw was rook takes d4. And this ending should be draw. After f6, king takes f6. Rook f2, rook f5. e7, knight takes d3. e8. And the ending is draw, but I think only black can play for win. King f2, king f1, d3. Threatening knight takes h3 and d2. King take d3, king takes d3, g3, check. King e6, rook g8, g2, and black is winning, but king takes d3 is very big mistake. After rook f8 check, attacking h6, rook d8, planning rook takes d5 and rook d5 and take pawn on a5. Very big chance for draw. Both pawn are hanging h4, and this should be draw. King e5, only move because rook h1, knight d6 and knight c7, black should be winning. This position should be draw. The game happened, king takes d3, g3, threatening g2, and now white resign because after rook g8, g2, rook takes g2, black is winning. I hope you enjoyed this video. We will meet again. Bye.